just to remind everyone what happened last time, Prince Vannevar Thomas had requested Lilit to retrieve 2 Ventru of his choosing to come to the San Francisco Civic Center Elysium for a mission. Annika Wolf, CFO of Arclight Pharmaceuticals, was summoned, as well as Connor Blair, former chief of San Francisco PD, currently disgraced and serving as police chief in Mill Valley. The prince wanted the 3 of them to go across territorial lines into Anarch-controlled Oakland to retrieve a caitiff woman and a package. They were not told why, only that there was a flight mix-up that would lead her to the Oakland airport instead of SFO into Camarilla territory. Before they left, they were visited by Daedalus, the Nosferatu primogen, who told them to consider how suspicious this whole ordeal was. Apparently, this caitiff who was flying in from Las Vegas was coming from an area in turmoil and at war. Camarilla versus the Anarchs. Apparently, news out of there has recently gone dark. When the group arrived at the airport, they made their way to the baggage claim area after persuading some guards to let them through. They retrieved a strange and mysterious wooden box that was to be given to someone who identified themselves as being affiliated with the Ivory Tower. In that moment, a car with Tenorio, the Bruja, Anarch Sheriff of Oakland, and a Toreador named Ashley showed up. As Lilit tried to broker a peace with the situation, the Ventru learned that this caitiff's name was Grace Newsom, and she was frightened for her life. Tenorio explained that the Las Vegas War was over. The Anarchs had won, and Grace was a wanted war fugitive whom they were intending on extraditing back to the Las Vegas to stand trial. The group deliberated, and Grace turned invisible and ran off. The Ventru went back to the prince with only the box, and this time, at least, the prince seemed very forgiving. That is what happened in our last story, and today, these 2 kindred are going to go in a world where some of the consequences from that fateful night occurred. One of these consequences is there was a masquerade violation. The caitiff turned invisible in front of a lot of people. While some people might have just thought that they were hallucinating, some people remembered. And they thought it was odd. That is where we are going to start ourselves off. Now, as far as it concerns the Lilit and Castle, they are not aware of the fuller implications of what has occurred, but tonight they're going to have to deal with it nevertheless. So, we start once again at the San Francisco Civic Center, Elysium, and where the prince often holds court. Prince Vannevar Thomas has summoned the Lilit once again, and, for the first time, James Castle. Now, Cass has been told that when the prince asks for you, that is not something that one refuses. When the prince requests your presence, you go. And if the prince asks you to do something, you do it. For now, all that Cass has been told is to come to the Civic Center. So they went. The Lilit was told this as well. Right now, Cass is sitting, waiting for himself to be summoned into the throne room. As Kaz is sitting there, waiting, the Lilit arrives. Neither of these kindred have ever seen each other before. Not to their knowledge, at least. Neither of them know why the other is here. Kaz, you see the Lilit come inside. You, as a Toreador, can tell that she's very lovely, but also there's something different about her. She's definitely Kindred, but you do not know what clan she's in. Lilit, you can make some guesses as to what clan Cass is in just by appearance, but you also do not know for sure. The ghoul leads Lilit in and says the usual, the prince is very happy to see you. Please, sit down. The prince will call you in. You know the deal. You were here recently. You were here before. Yeah. Just take a rest. Prince will call you. All that.
Do you have an off button?
And the ghoul just walks away and mutters something under his breath.
You know, I got the same spiel when I got in here, too.
Oh. Lila just looks over, doesn't say anything, but just lights up a cigarette.
Not chatty. Okay. Fair enough. Name's Castle. It's nice to meet you.
She blows smoke at him.
And feisty. It's great to meet you.
She does sort of a snap with her mouth, like a dog, just snap.
So you were just here, huh? Beautiful place.
Do you have an off button?
You want to try to find it?
Tempting as that is, I don't think you could handle me, and I would break you.
That looks can be deceiving.
But egos don't.
So you were here recently. Know anything about why we're here?
Look, I'm the messenger. The prince summons, I show up. He gives me a job. I do said job. He gives me payment. I take said payment. Then I go and I fuck off.
Sounds like a good day to me.
At this moment, one of the ghouls comes in and says, James Castle, Lilit, the prince would like to see both of you, if you'll follow me.
Absolutely. James will stand up and shake his coat out a little bit and walk forward.
Well, she just, like, no formality, nothing, as is typical of her personality and history. She just walks right in and actually walks past the ghoul.
All right. Now, Lilit, you've seen the prince numerous times. You know Prince Vannevar Thomas. For James Castle, this is the second time that you have met the prince. The first time was when you were embraced. You were simply told the rules. And that's it. That was the extent of your meeting. Since then, one person from the Camarilla court reached out to you concerning what you might know about your sire's disappearance. But not the prince personally. This will be the second time you have met the prince.
Yeah.
When you enter, the prince stands from his throne and greets you all. Ah, there are two lovely Kindred. Lilit, it is a pleasure to see you again.
She nods her head and basically just like throws the peace sign.
And James Castle. It has been a tumultuous year, has it not?
Indeed it has. But it is good to see you again.
There's a ghoul standing behind the prince that is pantomiming to urge you to bow, James Castle.
James will give a glorious bow.
Mm-hmm.
Lilit flips off the ghoul.
And the prince acknowledges and seems satisfied with your bow and begins pacing around the room. So, if some of you are not familiar, we have a bit of an interesting information leak. A violation of the Masquerade. At first, we didn't really know what would come of it, but we have now understood what this might look like, what this entails. And as it turns out, Mr. Castle, your expertise may come in handy here.
Happy to be of service.
There is a, what do they call them? And he starts snapping his fingers, trying to remember. Talk person who does things on the internet where people listen to his voice.
Mm-hmm.
I have been...
Podcast.
That's the word. Yes. It is apparently one that is fairly popular amongst the kine, and usually covers some small bits of rumors and information that no kine is really interested in believing normally. He says that with his next show, he is going to prove, undeniably, that vampires are real. Now, this sort of thing happens all the time. And normally, it comes down to somebody finding a dog's tooth amongst a skeleton and claiming that this has changed what we understand about human evolution, or it is some grainy footage of somebody being intimate in a club and it kind of looks like a bite. These sensationalist stories that we let run because of how ridiculous they are. But in lieu of recent events, we can't help but feel that this is worth looking into. Now, while you are here, Mr. Castle, I have been informed by a certain Nosferatu that this podcaster and their team have, well, aspirations to be filmmakers, and have in fact reached out to your agency before.
we believe that this may give you some edge in seeing this mission that I have for you through. Interested?
Certainly. Consider it done.
What I want you to do is first determine, do they have any evidence at all that threatens our masquerade? Second, if they do, I expect you to take care of it.
Absolutely. Will do.
Now, I just want to impress upon you that this person may have a large audience. We don't necessarily need them to disappear after they were supposedly going to blow the lid off of a huge story, a large conspiracy. If it can be done without bloodshed, that would be ideal.
Duly noted. With the utmost discretion.
Lilit, you may have suspected that the reason that you are here is similar to the last one.
Escort.
Indeed. This podcast, it is done from a studio team that works in Emeryville, Anarch territory, just across the bridge. Simply put, I want you there just to make sure that Mr. Castle is not accosted by the Anarchs, wondering why the Camarilla are there. You can explain to them the situation if you wish, assuming they do not already know. That is all.
Lilith nods and she sits there and thinks for a bit, and she looks and goes, even though anarchs don't follow the traditions, I'm quite certain that they would not want any undue attention coming to their operations and existence, just as you and the Camarilla do not want your existence brought to light. After all, neither of you are Sabbat, so it only makes sense that that you and the Anarchs in this capacity have something in common interest.
Indeed. Well, last I heard they are expected to be in studio right now and should be there for the next few hours. The sooner you get going, the better. Come back here when you have accomplished your mission, Castle.
Will do. I'll be on my way then.
The prince smiles and returns to his throne and sits down. And the ghouls kind of give you like a thumbs up as you get going.
I'll give a slight bow before I leave and take my way.
Lilith she winks, blows a kiss to the prince, and turns to walk out.
The prince smiles, shakes his head a little. When you exit the civic center, the cool night air of San Francisco seems to be making the ghouls outside a little chilled. You do not notice this as Kindred. The air, the temperature. Fog is always in San Francisco. But one of the ghouls huddles over the same ghoul who brought you in, going, "Hey, was was it good? Prince looks good, right? Prince looks pretty good, huh?"
Absolutely. I mean, as good as the first time I saw them.
Yeah.
Not as good as your throat does.
Oh, do you need a bite? And he immediately like pulls up his sleeves to show his skin, and he holds out his wrists. Goes, cause yeah, I'm fully able to give that service to you if you want.
Lilit, she just politely declines and heads over to the car that she normally uses whenever she's doing a mission for the prince.
So are we driving separately or together?
No, get in the car, buckle up, and be a good little boy.
Oh, you care about my safety. That's cute.
I will dump you in Sabat territory.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll decline the bite as well. Thank you. I'm already full. And we'll hop into the car. Adjusting the seat. Getting comfy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a nice car? What am I in right now?
Why don't you describe it, Lilit?
So it is just a nondescript four-door sedan, black in color. It is tinted windows. There's nothing really special about it. It is just, on the outside, is just very nondescript.
So, the Lilit. Is that a name or a title?
She just looks over at him and she pulls out her phone. She doesn't answer. She pulls out her phone and she starts immediately texting Tenario and letting him know and giving him a heads up that she is doing an escort mission and kind of gives him a heads up of what's going on and why this is important to not only the Camarilla, but also the Anarch movement as well. And to let... it's a courtesy, so one, Tenario knows why she's back in Oakland with another Cammy and what is going on, so that there is no misperception, there is no mistrust. And it's part of her standard being open and transparent about what she is doing as the messenger for everyone.
As you are texting, you get a message from the Nosferatu that simply gives you the address to where you will be going, Lilit. That's all it says. It's just the address. You recognize the message coming from the Nosferatu.
Cool. At this point, she nods, puts her phone away, turns on the car, starts her playlist, and immediately Ramstein just starts blasting at max volume in the car.
All right. We have a redemption for the Beast Whispers. The redemption is for James Castle. Again, you can choose to respond to the beast however you wish. Right now, your hunger is at 1, so it's easily ignored. Your beast. This is the most boring car I think I've ever been in.
nothing interesting. This Kindred has no taste. This Kindred is nothing. This Kindred is nowhere near as interesting as any of the others that you've met. Not even those ghouls out in front of the Civic Center. But I bet she's tasty. Just a bite. Come on.
Castle will kick his feet up onto the dashboard with a bit of oomph and talking over the music. So, what's your deal? You don't like to talk very much. You have a strange, mysterious name. You're just gonna not talk to me and make witty comments the whole time, or what?
If you must know, I
can't hear you.
She gets an annoyed look. She turns the music down to where she can be heard over the music. And she says, "So I guess you can tell by now, I am not Camarilla. So I am able to go places and do things that your group cannot."
What do you mean, not Camarilla?
I am not Camarilla. Stick with me here.
Back to the riddles again.
There are some things that you're better off not knowing. And don't get the dashboard dirty. This card does belong to your boss, the prince.
Well, you should take care of it then. I smile playfully.
I look over at him and just go, "Okay, stick with the conversation. I am not Camarilla. Therefore, your boss is not my boss."
I mean, you seem to be working for him and doing jobs and getting paid by him. I don't know what else you call that.
I would call it independent contracting.
Fair enough.
You see, I am not Camarilla. I am not Anarch. I can go into any territory. I can even go into Sabbat territory and not have to worry or fear. And at that, she smiles.
See, that is interesting. That's what I'm looking for. I like that. You're not very talkative, but I do like that about you. You're interesting.
And you talk too much.
Somebody has to.
Well, I guess if you've got a pretty mouth, you might as well use it.
Now you're trying to flatter me.
Trust me, if I was flirting or flattering, you would know it, babe.
I hope I will. And James takes his feet off of the dashboard.
And Lilit turns the music back up.
Traffic as usual, but nothing that Bay Area people going back and forth over the bridge are not used to. The Bay Bridge goes directly into Emeryville. Turn left, you go to Berkeley. Turn right, you go to Oakland. Go straight, you're in Emeryville. A little small slice of film production. There you have the home of Pixar Studios. You have DreamWorks Studios, a large extension of them. you have one of the most prestigious colleges of music and sound design. Emeryville is known for these things, as well as for its gentrification next door to Albany. There's no official kindred that would call Emeryville home. But being right between Berkeley and Oakland, it sees people come and go. Kindred too. Anarchs. This side of the bay used to be some place where James Castle could go to and from and not have to worry about it. Then one day, he woke up and realized that life on the other side of the bridge was forbidden. This is a bit of a unique experience, being able to go back. Arriving in Emeryville, Lilit takes the car directly to where it needs to be. While it doesn't seem that you can park directly in front, there is a small parking garage that allows for 4-hour parking for free. Otherwise, it's park on the street, a few blocks down.
She's gonna pull into the parking garage.
All right. From the parking garage, you can see that there is quite a bit of studio space that is set up between a number of buildings. Following the directions, it is clear which one you're supposed to go to. SAE Expression College. Oftentimes it is just shortened to Expressions. There's lots of studios, lots of spaces, places that are used, rented out by people who do filming of something. There's places where an entire floor is constantly rented out by some people who use the studio space to do some sort of YouTubing and stuff like that. Somewhere in there, in Expressions, is apparently where you're going to find the people that James Castle needs to talk to.
Do we explicitly know who this person is?
On Lilit's phone, there is a message that just says, "You're looking for Mark Truth." But you don't know that.
I was gonna say, does does the Lilit share that with me, or
No.
no? Of course not. So, who are we looking for?
The person that your boss sent us to go find.
Mm-hmm.
She pulls into a parking space, turns off the car, and she reaches in the back and pulls out a backpack. And from it, she gets her usual assortment of protection. She pulls a stake out. To deal with any kindred that might need to be dealt with. She pulls out a she pulls out a 9mm pistol to deal with any kind of humans or hunters that may need to be dealt with. And she tosses it back into the back seat. She looks over and looks at Cass and says, we're supposed to find some YouTuber by the name of Marky Mark Truth or something like that.
Hearing that name, have you roll intelligence and awareness.
Intelligence and awareness. First roll of the night. Let's go.
Yep.
Okay, intelligence. I'm trying to figure out the dice that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Finding awareness on my sheet as well. Beautiful. Do I also roll my hunger die with this?
Yes.
Okay. These are my dice. Okay. Wow, lots going on here. Lots going on here. Okay. I'm just gonna tell you the numbers and then you can help me figure out.
Of course.
Is that okay? Okay. So I have a 10 for a success,
Mm-hmm.
but then 2 1s, and then a 6, and then a 2 on the hunger die. So I assume that the hunger die is ignored because it's not a 1
Yeah.
or a 10.
Nothing happens to your hunger.
So two 1s, and then a singular 10, and then a 6. How does that all add up?
So 1s negate a success. So your 10 counting as 2 successes, the 1s basically negate those. Your 6 is a success, so you have 1 success.
Whew. Just barely.
You recall the name? Somebody went to your studio wanting to make a documentary about, like, missing hikers in national parks. But it seemed very unprofessional. But you think that this Mark Truth guy was involved with that, and that's really all that you've got on this person.
Okay. Cool. Got it. Oh, Mark Truth. Mark Truth. Sounds familiar. Well, I guess we should go pay our friend Mark a little visit.
I would like both of you to roll wits and awareness.
Roll, let's see, wits. 3d10 plus awareness. You said awareness?
Yes.
2d10. Okay, and mine is in
No successes.
I got 3 successes.
3 successes. All right. Kaz, you feel very strongly that at this moment you are being watched. This doesn't feel like surveillance, like cameras or just somebody casually looked over. There is something or someone watching what you are doing right now.
Sure. Hey, Lilit, not to alarm you, but it seems like we have a friend.
Lilit just immediately starts looking around the parking garage.
But be cool about it, okay? Never mind.
What? You said that we had a friend.
Oh, it's better if they don't know that we know. Never mind.
If they know that we know that they know that we know, then they'll be more cautious about doing anything stupid now, won't they?
But if they didn't know that we knew, then we could catch them off guard. But I guess we'll see.
Kaz, when you look around, you're pretty sure that you can see only one interesting thing. Inside the parking garage, on top of a motorcycle, is an owl. Just staring at you.
Interesting.
I want to look something up real quick.
I will act like I don't notice it.
Okay.
So Lilit is going to use animal kin to. She's going to use animal kin to try to get a feel for the owl.
Go ahead and roll composure and animal kin. Actually, no. Intelligence and animal kin.
Okay. Rolling intelligence will be the first die. And animal kin will be the second. Okay, here we go.
2 successes. That's as much of an owl as you are a wolf.
Does Lilit know this owl?
Yes. You spent time with them and a particular baron not too long ago. They were in some trouble with their childer.
Share with the class.
So Lilit is going to make eye contact with the owl. And she's going to just nod and give a very friendly smile to the owl.
The owl visibly winks at you.
Just seeing Lilit do all this. And ignoring the owl because pretending not to see the owl.
Yeah.
You have some very strange friends.
Oh, if you only knew. Lilit waits for a moment to see if the owl is going to interact or if the owl is just there to watch. She is being very diplomatic and letting the owl decide what it's going to do.
After the owl winks, the owl is just like laser beam eyes on James Castle, just watching.
Lilit pretty much just says, like, she looks at Cass, and then just says over her shoulder, in the direction of the owl, "I'm getting paid to be a babysitter tonight."
The owl doesn't react, just keeps staring.
James, now that this conversation is happening to an owl, will look at the owl, just staring at the owl eyes, and then turn to head towards the building. and on the way, just, straightening out their coat. They've got a brown leather jacket on, black t-shirt. They hike up their waistband a little bit where they keep their 9mm concealed in there and within their waistband. Touch their pocket that has a knife just clipped into it. And clears their throat and gets ready to head inside.
Lilith looks at the owl and goes, "Ooh," or makes the gesture of, "Ooh, we got a badass here," and just like smiles at the owl.
The owl just continues to watch as you both approach the door leading into the Expressions College. The owl does one movement, which is to fly out of the parking garage.
I think between the two of us, it's probably safe if you let me do the talking. I mean, you're charming, of course.
Lilith just dead stares right at him and doesn't say a word.
James just smiles.
Lilith does not change expressions. She just she's drilling holes into him with her eyes.
That's why James smiles. And if you decided to play nice, this could be a hell of a lot easier.
Lilith just doesn't say anything. She just keeps staring at him and then makes a gesture of, "Are you going in?"
Castle just shrugs and goes inside.
All right. All right. Inside, there is a directory on the wall that shows what's going on in the building, directing to not only bathrooms, cafeteria, things like that, but also to places where music production is happening, places where people are using a department for animation, but the big one is for voice recording. And that one has some names attached to it. One of these is for room 610 on the 4th floor. Mark Truth and Company. And that's what it says.
Tap the sign and say, "Well, looks like we're going to the 4th floor."
And I was going to say that Lilith also reaches to tap the sign at the same time that Cass does, ends up poking his finger at the same time, and she just gets this kind of annoyed look and immediately just shoves her hand in her jacket pocket.
James smiles to himself a little bit. All right. Is there an elevator nearby? Hop on.
There is a nearby elevator, yes.
Great.
And inside there, you can see that there are 5 floors to this building.
Nice. Hit the button for the 4th floor, and so you're really not going to tell me about that owl, huh?
It's the owl.
Oh, it's the owl.
Yes, it is the owl.
Of course. That makes sense.
As you arrive on the 4th floor, you appear next to, at the end of this hall, and you can see that there are several people who are going on and about, just kind of moving between these different doors in the hallways. But while those doors closest to you attach to some rooms that you can't really see inside, after that are open glass rooms. Doors are shut, but you can see inside. These are recording booths, soundproof, locked doors, and hardly any of them are in use right now, except for one at the very end. There is next to it a sort of lounge area where there are 5 or 6 individuals, 5 men, 1 woman, who are sitting down and they're helping themselves to some drinks, some different beverages, sodas. There's soda cans that are empty kind of over the place, and also some beer, as people have been drinking some different beers here. It looks like this is a place where their chosen drinks of choice are between like PBR and Budweiser, pretty much. They're sitting there on their couches, and they're just outside conversating with each other while there are 2 people inside who appear to be recording something. There is a red on live button, like on air, red sign that is lit up above that room.
Is that room 610, perchance?
Actually, the whole area is 610.
Oh. Okay, so somebody's recording in one of the booths right now currently?
Yes, it looks like there are 2 people who are recording some sort of podcast. They're in seats across from a table in the center, 2 microphones on both of them, headphones on both of them. And what you can see is that there are connected cables, and probably what the people on the couch are supposed to be doing are monitoring audio levels, but they are just not doing that.
James would like to walk up to the recording booth and knock on the window assertively.
Okay. You go up there, and the people from the couch kind of like get to their legs, and they're like, "Whoa, dude, what the hell? You can't just come in here and do that." And they look pretty frustrated, and they're just like, "If you got something to say, you can like go somewhere else, man. Come on. Who even are you?"
So the Lilit is gonna like look at the 2 of them, and she's going to attempt to pull intimidation.
Oh, okay.
Goddamn.
What were you gonna do, Cass?
Is there a door that directly enters into the recording area?
There is. It is locked right now.
Okay. I would have checked to see if it was unlocked.
For sure. You can tell that it's locked right now.
Yeah, I'll wait until Lilit, see what Lilit does.
For sure. What are you trying to get them to do, Lilit?
Basically, she's trying to make them kind of rethink about just running up on Cass and her, and more of not I am going to put you through the wall and more of. I think you might want to sit down and be more of. Let's not be so hasty.
Let's do charisma and intimidation for that.
Charisma. You're asking a gangrel to roll charisma.
I'm asking a gangrel to roll charisma.
And intimidation.
Yep.
I do want to follow up with this as after this happens.
For sure.
The intimidation a gangrel can normally do. Charisma is not normally something a gangrel is very good at. So, the first one is...
Hero could not tell.
What?
So the first dice will be for charisma. The second dice will be for intimidation.
All right. Okay, so... roll your hunger as well.
All right. So I have one.
Okay. You get one success off that, and they seem like they don't rush up. They kind of like stop when they notice you, but they're not really upset with you. They're more upset with James right now.
Hi, James Castle. Redstone Media, do you mind pausing things here for a second?
One of them from the couch, who has this goatee and this long brown hair, skinny looking guy, goes,
You're James Castle?
In the flesh. Pleasure to meet you. Could I speak with Mark, actually?
Oh, I'm Mark.
You're Mark.
Yeah, I was just here. Those are my buds in there. Like they have their own podcast and everything. They're just doing whatever. But I'm Mark Truth,
and he goes to reach for a handshake with you.
Absolutely. I will give him a handshake and the most charming of smiles.
Yes, of course.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm glad I could finally catch up with you. Is there anywhere we could sit down and talk? This is my associate.
He is so excited. He's shaking your hand, looks over at Lilit and looks a little afraid, and then looks back to you and smiles some more.
He goes, yeah. What do you want to talk about?
And the other folks, their mood has changed. And they're a little bit confused, but they can see that Mark Truth is happy. One of the guys also seems to have noticed you and is. You can overhear them going, it's like, that's James Castle. They produced that one vampire movie, you remember? And they're like, that movie? And they're like talking and they're about you and everything.
Yeah, if we could sit down, maybe somewhere a little more private, to discuss business, actually.
Yeah. I got an office down the hall. Yeah, why don't you come with me?
Sure, certainly, lead the way.
And he is all too happy to do that as he heads down the hall, and he goes into this nondescript office, and you can see that basically in there is just a desk, a computer desktop, mouse, keyboard, a chair, and like 2 lawn chairs that are in there. He goes in and he sits down. At first, he goes to sit down in the big rolling nice chair, and then he doesn't commit to it. He goes and he pulls the chair over to you and is just going, yeah, sit down. And then he sits down in the one of the lawn chairs.
Perfect. Perfect.
Lilit says under her breath that would be too soft for a human to hear, but another kindred would definitely hear.
Mm-hmm.
This place smells like mold and desperation.
One thing I want to address, James Castle. This is a boring room. There's no pictures on the wall. It's literally a desk. Those that computer, those chairs. There's a dying plant in the corner of the room too.
James doesn't take a seat. James doesn't even take the chair. He goes to sit down for a moment and then just pushes it aside. And then kind of like wipes his hand off on his jacket a little bit. Well, this certainly is a place, isn't it? I came to do business with... Let me start over. Mark, can I call you Mark?
Yeah, of course.
Mark. I received your documentary. My assistant shared it with me.
His eyes are so lit up right now.
James is like scratching at the desk a little bit.
Let's
wearing
have
into
you make a hunger roll.
Okay. How do I do that?
Just roll your dice. If you do not get a 6 through 10, then you will add a hunger.
Okay. I got a 2.
Your hunger increases.
Great. Love that.
The beast whispers to you,
This scum wants to come to you. Just drain him. Just drain him right now. You could do it. All these mortals, these kine, they couldn't do anything to stop you. All of them are tasteless. None of them have anything of any value. Their art will never be remembered. Their content will always be forgotten, not yours. Drain him. Come on. Drain him.
and we also have a redemption for Lilith's beast as well. Lilith, you are still at 1 hunger. The beast will whisper to you, though.
Who does this Camarilla, basically fledgling, think that they are? Diablerie. Who cares in Anarch territory? If a Camarilla was just to be found to be met with a final death. If anything, at least they probably taste good.
So, you do feel the hunger increase in you, James Castle.
Sure.
And for your skill checks going forward, You're gonna be rolling those 2 hunger dice. And you're gonna hear the beast start whispering a little bit more to you.
Great, love that. Now, normally, I wouldn't be interested in some dribble like that. But I decided to look further into your other works, and I was interested in what I saw most recently. Some talk of
Wait,
vampire...
you didn't like my screenplay for the documentary?
No.
I did a lot of good research on that. I've got some people who said that they would do an interview and things like that.
No. I was not interested. But you do have something that does interest me.
Oh, what's that?
Recently, I saw that you made mention of evidence of vampires, and you know that is I've created some movies in the past, and I'm interested. I'm interested in potentially working together on an upcoming movie.
On a vampire movie?
Your evidence has, for whatever reason, caught my interest. And I am always looking for new inspiration, you know.
Yeah, you want to know if it's for real. No, let me tell you. Vampires exist. I have proof. I wasn't just making that shit up when I made that announcement. And we're going to show the world tomorrow. Vampires are real. We have the proof. We got it.
That's what a wild claim, but I'm interested. Any sort of inspiration. I mean, my movies draw inspiration from all sorts of things. And so certainly something new here, especially locally, might make for an interesting movie.
If James looks over, he would notice that she is very focused on his throat and unnervingly from time to time does sort of it looks like she licks her chops from time to time.
Yeah, Castle does notice that.
Sorry, it was just trying to, this is how she's responding to the beast whispering to her.
No, I like it. No. So Castle does notice that, and on his leather jacket, turns the collar up. Just very, very casually, but kind of stretching out the jacket a little bit, and turns up the collar. Again, glances back at Lilit. Like, you good?
She just kind of does a quick sort of dismissive sniff, but kind of in a very animalistic way.
Mark, can I call you Mark?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that my associate and I could look at this footage and see if there's anything valuable?
Well, I know you respect a good showman. I mean, I'm gonna show it tomorrow night. It's gonna be a world premiere. It'll be a world premiere to everyone. And like where I got this footage, my source, they told me that It has to be tomorrow night. Like, I can't do it sooner than that. So, it's...
So this isn't your work then? I don't even know if I should be talking to you, quite honestly. This isn't yours then?
I got it from a source of mine. Someone who goes out and does some research into the field for me. They were the ones that did the national park disappearances. Now, I really think that you should give that another look. Let me tell you all about it, okay?
No, I don't think you will. I don't think you will. Because this, I'm interested in this. I'm interested in... Let me just level with you. I have an upcoming movie, and I am looking for some new inspiration for it. And the reason why I'm so curious as to if you own this or not is because I'm potentially interested in the rights. Now, I have to see it, of course, and I would hate to disrupt your world premiere to your tens of fans, but certainly I think that we could do something a little bigger.
Roll charisma and subterfuge.
Nice. Can do. Lots of dice going on. But also the 2 hunger dice, so I'm a little bit scared. Okay. I'm looking at my dice real quick. Okay. So it was 3s on the hunger dice, so I'm not super scared.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Let's see what we have for successes. Not that. Damn. Okay, I only have 3 successes.
Well, he absolutely believes you. That there's no reason for him to doubt you at all.
Of course.
So he goes, well, I don't know. I really want to help, but I don't know.
Don't think of this as you helping me. Think of this as me helping you. Certainly, your name would look better in credits than on a podcast.
He raises an eyebrow to that, and he goes a little bit over to the door, sees Lilit there, and just kind of goes,
I gotta get the evidence real quick.
Lilith gives him a very long stare. And he would definitely feel uneasy because she is obviously a predator, which is one of her flaws. So he would definitely know that something is scary about her.
mm-hmm.
But she will, after a minute of just staring at him, she just kind of moves just enough for him to he has to squeeze by, but he can get by her.
All right, so he does that, and he walks down the hall toward his group on the couch, starts talking with them. As Kindred, you can hear that conversation plain as day. Just goes,
Hey, gonna need that flash drive.
and this woman that was there just reaches in her pocket and gives it to him. Doesn't seem like a big deal for her. And he takes it and comes right back. Does anyone look down the hall when he went over?
Yes,
Sure.
Lilith is going to be watching him like a hawk, every move he makes.
You can see that when he was over there, this little corner is all windows, basically, to the outside. There is a familiar owl in the tree watching this happen. Mark enters and plugs the drive into his computer. He then awakes it from the sleep mode that it was in and types in something. Looks like a password of some kind.
Do I happen to see the password?
If you do wits and technology.
Just curious. Oh, no technology roll. Okay, and then wits. Oh, yep. Okay, this could go very poorly.
How many skill dice do you have to hunger?
I have 2 skill dice and 2 hunger. Yeah, yeah. So I've got here's what I got. On my hunger dice, I got a 3 and a 10, and then on my skill dice, I got a 6 and a 1.
All right, that is fascinating. Excellent. All right. What's gonna happen here is your hunger is gonna go up.
God damn it.
And you hear yourself blurt out, and you can roleplay this if you want. Otherwise, I can do it for you. But you hear yourself blurt out, "Fucking hurry up, you blood bag."
I just let it. That's what I say. That's what I.
There you go.
That's what I say. Fucking hurry up, you blood bag.
Lilith, you just hear Lilith from the door just go, "For fuck's sake, I don't get paid enough for this."
Mark stops and looks up at you like, "What?"
I'm sorry. It's been a long night.
The beast
Been
in
a
you
long
goes, "It has been a long night. Just fucking kill him. He put in the flash drive. He's put in the password. Just kill him. You've got what you need. You don't need him, but you do need that blood. Come on. If you can't do it, just give me control. I'll do it for us."
No. There's just been a lot going on with with the film lately. So I'm apologies, Mark.
Mark is going to make a roll.
Mark needs to chill, okay? Mark.
Mark is uncomfortable, but he continues. He steps back from the computer and says,
Well, here it is. You just, can't tell anyone. I'm the one dropping the exclusive tomorrow. But I got it up for you.
Before I hit play. So, when you said your friend, the one who gave you the documentary footage, they were the one that provided this as well?
Yeah. They, We've been talking for a few years. Basically we started, right around when the pandemic started.
So they own this, or do you?
I mean, it came from them, but I don't think that they own it. I think that they stole it from someone. It's very, I don't know, black hat shit, you know?
Interesting. Okay, well, we'll discuss that later. Let's see it.
You want to press play?
Yeah, Castle will look at Lilit and then press play.
Lilit, do you want to watch this as well, or are you just by the door?
She's she's gonna stay by the door. She's basically where she can keep an eye on Mark, but also she can see down the hall where she can watch Mandy out in the tree and the three on the couch.
Okay. So, you press play. Video starts out black for a moment, but then you see something horrifying. Strapped down to a table in what appears to be a laboratory is someone. Never seen them before. But this person strapped to the table is surrounded by different people with tools. A couple people, and they're all wearing some sort of masks, like gas masks. And they're wearing coveralls. They go up to this figure strapped to the table. One with a power drill, and it bores through this thing's right hand, right through the center of the hand. Blood starts spewing out from the wound. And on the other, and whoever has the camera is showing in full detail that they can, brings a circular saw blade and starts cutting off the fingers of the hand on the other. All the while, the figure is screaming, but there is no audio to this at all, but you can just tell that they're screaming. As the blood pours down, it is dripping into petri dishes that are catching it. Video then does a cut to the dishes of blood that also hold some of the severed fingers. They shrivel up, decaying quickly, very rapidly. But there's a time lapse on this whole video to show that it is not altered in any way. They then show the next thing, which are the stakes. This one that is strapped down is impaled through the chest with a stake. And the moment that happens, the creature ceases movement. They do some detail to show how they could do whatever they wanted to this thing while it is impaled through, and it won't react. It won't move. It is solid. Immediate rigor mortis. The film then does one more hard cut to the staked figure being pushed out into some sun, where it immediately catches fire and disintegrates. And then it ends.
Like a vampire version of Hostel.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I don't know who these guys are or whatever, but you can't deny it. Look at that. They found a fucking vampire. That shit's real, dude.
I mean, it's... I mean, it... You don't believe that, though, right? It's not real. It's...
I mean, were you watching
it's good. It looks good. I believe it. It looks good. But it's not... You don't think it's real, though, right? Not actually. This is a... I know it's a bit for the show, but...
I mean, did you see the same thing that I saw? It was doing all the fucking vampire shit, man.
If I handed you my movies on a flash drive and said it was real, you'd probably think it was real too, but that's whatever. Besides the point, it's interesting. It's interesting. I like it. I'd love to know who worked on it, which is, I guess, more to the point, the rights. You said your friend got it from someone who... or stole it from... acquired it from someone. I don't want to imply that you broke the law.
Right, no, I was just getting something from my contact, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so... received stolen goods. It doesn't matter. We won't talk. I don't know. I didn't hear anything, right? I'm interested.
Oh, yeah? Well, I mean...
But when I say I'm interested, we can't... If we're going to use this, if we're going to use something like this, we need full rights to it. We can't have a world premiere and then a movie coming out about it down the line. It doesn't work like that, obviously. But seeing as you're not the owner of this, that does make it difficult.
Well, there's something else, too.
Oh?
Yeah, 1 second.
And he goes through the other files and shows that there is one other video. And this one shows from just the part of the start, you can see that it's another thing from what looks like the same laboratory. A different individual is strapped down. This one has interesting features. It has a snout like a dog. And it has long claws on its hands. And Mark just presses play on the video. And it shows the scientists getting close to this figure with a torch. You can see that the figure is terrified of it. It starts screaming. Again, no audio. But uncut, you can see that between the straps, the figure is changing into another animal, into a wolf. And the transformation is shown in its entirety. You have never seen this before, James, but you know that this is what the gangrel do. And you just watched it happen.
This CGI is impressive.
I don't think it is. This is real.
Well, that's that's good CGI then, right? That's what we shoot for, of course. But
do you really think people aren't gonna believe it? 'Cause it looks fucking real to me. I think that this is the proof.
I think it does look good. That's why I'm interested. I like it. I do. I really do. What do you think? And then James looks at Lilit.
She just sits there and goes, Does it look like I just watched the video? What did you just see?
I saw some damn good CGI. And I know. Which is why...
Are we talking like Jurassic Park? Or Aliens versus Predator?
Potentially better. Which is why I'm interested in a couple of things.
Well, what the hell was on the video?
Vampire, slasher, whatever. It was good. It was good. It was well done.
What, like fangs? And she like puts her left hand up to her mouth and uses her pointer finger and her pinky finger in front of her mouth like they're fangs, and she's like vampires like that.
It was different. It was a different take. It was a different take on it. It was...
No, listen, there were these scientists, and they were doing these experiments on these vampires. They were cutting things off, and they were like, those things they cut off were like de-aging and shit. They like were showing how like they put a stake through one of their hearts, and it's like immediate rigor mortis shit. And they reeled one out into the sun, and it burst into flames. Come on.
With a stake in the sun, that's, I mean, classic, right? Classic vampire stuff, of course. But there was different things, different elements thrown in there. It was good. It's interesting. I'm not going to lie. Which is why I'm interested in potentially making a deal. But it's a two-part deal. One, Redstone Media owns exclusive rights to this and all other copies of this footage. Two, we get to speak to whoever this came from, so we can potentially find the animator who crafted such a masterpiece. Does that sound doable for you?
Well, I'm gonna be premiering this tomorrow night, though. Like, this is, they came to me with this footage that, they got direct, so I don't want to, like, fuck up that deal. I want them to keep trusting me and everything like that, and they said only tomorrow night, so I gotta show it tomorrow night,
Mark, how many movies have they put you in, or have they just given you shit documentaries that have received no reply back?
What's important is that the truth gets out there, and yeah, I'm not as financed and everything, but
sure.
This is important to get out. This could be a big deal. And
well, what if we could get it out there and then also have you be financed? I see this as a win-win.
Look, no offense, but I hear about these kind of deals getting made, right? They have something going, they sign away exclusivity before they can even do anything with it, and then it's gone from them. I feel like I've got a chance here, Mr. Castle.
I feel like you have a chance too, and it's sitting right in front of you, and I use awe.
Ah.
Help me help you, Mark.
Roll with your awe. Do charisma and persuasion.
I forgot that I get to add one dice because I am quote unquote beautiful. So I haven't been adding those. But I damn well will right now. I'm just really worried about the hunger dice.
You do have 3 of those.
I know. I know. There's so many dice in my hands right now. Okay, none of the hunger dice are ones, so I love that.
Uh-huh.
Just Immediately. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Let's see what we have. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second, and I will tally everything. 7 successes.
All right. Well, he just,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
and he just immediately goes to his computer, just signs right on out, unplugs the flash drive, and hands it directly to you, and is just like,
Yeah, are there any contracts I need to sign or anything? Because I'll do it right now. I mean,
and he looks at you a little bit dreamily for just a second, going,
I'd do anything for you. I would.
but also, the beast is going to whisper to you real quick.
Oh, God damn it.
Are you seriously going to just let this guy live? He's an affront to art itself. Look at this office. You've seen his work. You've dismissed it before. Just remove him. Besides, you'll feel better.
James will kind of smack the desk a little bit. Just put a fist down on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
But then in doing so, put his hand out it's a deal. Oh shit. And then pleasure doing business with you, Mark. Yes, I will have my assistant Ashley send you over the documents, which I'll expect you to sign, and as well as obviously be forthcoming with the details about your associate, so that we can figure out who the mastermind was behind these wonderful animations. And yeah, this is the start of something wonderful.
Yeah, is there anything else that you want? I could do anything for you, really. Anything at all?
From the door, you hear Lilith just go, "Why don't y'all fucking make out and just get it over with already?"
Don't be jealous. And no, Mark, simply sign the documents, send over the details about your contact, and obviously no, unfortunately, and I'm sorry, but it's no world premiere. And for the time being,
I'll think of something. Don't worry about that. I'll think of something. You know.
I'm sure you will. Sure you will. For the time being, no mention of Redstone Media. It's until we're able to progress. Obviously, it's an NDA, very standard. But I'm looking forward to working with you in the future, Mark.
At this point, Lilith...
I was going to say something to you.
Go ahead.
You see that the owl is no longer there. And as you realize that, you can hear from down the hall, from the elevator, some footsteps approaching.
So, Lilith was actually going to go and... Lilith was actually going to just go look for the owl anyways, which is what I was going to say. So she looks over at Cass and Mark and goes, "You know what? I'm just going to leave you to look longingly into each other's eyes and contemplate your wonderful, happy futures together. I'll be back in a minute." And she kind of shoves herself off the door frame and goes towards the elevator.
Yeah, Mark has not even noticed that you said anything or were there. It's just absolutely obsessed with James Castle right now. And it even extends so far as to go,
Yeah, I mean, do you want to meet my source? I mean, I can get in contact with him. Not today. There's a very specific way of reaching him, and we organize a meeting face to face. He doesn't do phones or anything like that.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely. If we could give me the details right now, we can work together. That's fun.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second.
and he goes and sits back down at the computer, starts going to work. Lilit, you are going to go to the hall?
I also just wanted to say I text Ashley about the contract and have her send over the details and all that fun stuff.
Of course. Lilit, you're heading to the hall?
Yes.
You see Mandy walking down the hall, wearing all black and kind of in this black sweater that is, you would think if you were mortal that it is far too cold to be wearing such a thin knit sweater like she is. And she's also just wearing black shorts. Although she does have long socks and is just wearing some regular holy sneakers. She has what can only be described as a goth mullet.
So Lilit walks up to her, does the eye from top to bottom, gives a very appreciative smile, and says, "Hi, gorgeous. You recovered from the meeting the other day?"
Oh yeah. I happened to be around. Tenorio got your message. Asked me to fly on by. Let him know if anything interesting had developed. So I thought I'd come and ask you. Has anything interesting developed?
Well, so apparently Dork down there has some kind of video that reportedly shows, I don't know. Cass says one of us getting tortured or something and wheeled into the sun and staked. He used his little and next thing we know, the wannabe YouTuber just instantly fell in lust and started agreeing to hand over everything. I didn't get a look at the video. Quite frankly, I didn't really care to watch it. Not my concern. I'm just here to babysit. And make sure nothing happens to Mr. Prissy in the office.
What is he?
He smells like a Toria whore. Acts like one.
Looks like one.
Definitely a pretty boy. Not your type, though. Not my type either.
Yeah. Well, I saw that pine back there, getting that drive, which I assume the video is on, from one of his associates. How many know? How many have seen it?
So he got it from one of his associates. Cass, at this point, is working to get the information of who it is that obtained the video in the first place. From what it seems like, this individual here, it's just your typical, ooh, I've got the ultimate proof.
Is it real this time,
He's... Cass seems to think so.
Then I'm going to listen to what they have to say.
All right. Let me introduce you to Cass. But this individual, I think that he's one of those that can easily be dismissed. He thinks he knows, but I doubt he knows. I mean, I'll leave that up to the Baron once I get Cass out of this area. After all, this is your territory, and what happens, happens. But I think it would be in both the Camarilla's interest and the Anarch's interest to figure out who is videotaping Kindred being tortured.
That's what the Anarchs would like to know, too. And with that,
and
she kind of goes past you and starts walking toward the office.
Lilit follows her, and when she gets to the office, she's like, "Hey, Cass, got somebody that I want you to meet. Cass,
Oh.
This is Ida the Owl Lady. Ida, this is Cass."
Ada, pleasure to meet you. We're just wrapping up business here. Cass extends a hand.
She studies your face for a little bit and then shakes your hand. You can tell that she's trying to discern something about you. And she chooses her words carefully in the sentence. A fledgling filmmaker to give you information.
This is our fledgling filmmaker here, Mark. I assume we're in the room, right? Are we all in the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's stepped into the room to shake your hand.
Yeah.
She goes and grabs one of those lawn chair seats and sits down in it and takes a good look at Mark, who is pulling up some information. And
Mark,
while she's staring, she just real quick bites her lip.
God damn it. Our friend Mark here was, our fledgling filmmaker Mark here, was just going to put us in contact with this source for this wonderful CGI, and hoping to make a new contact for the Redstone Media. But Ida, you and Lilit, good friends. I'm sorry we haven't. Mark, sorry to interrupt. Whatever. You two are friends.
Ida is you could say, sort of family.
I love that I'm learning new things about you all the time.
She's just staring at Mark, who occasionally looks nervously over at her. And she decides to talk, however, to James. Well, before you take this incredible footage over to your Redstone Media, my agency would like to have a look at it. I trust nobody has signed anything yet.
James looks at his phone to see if he's received a text from Ashley.
You've got an email that has attachments.
I open them up. Are they signed?
They are the forms blank currently.
Well,
Lilit
go ahead.
Lilit leans in and kind of like leans down next to Mandy, or Ida, as she's introduced her to Cass. Kind of like leans down close to her, like she's almost cuddled up next to her, and looks at Cass and says, I think it would be in everyone's best interest if she also got a look at that video, because her agency might be able to help us, and we can do a joint production. And she leaves it as like the question mark is there, but it's very clear that she's recommending that this be a joint effort.
Well, Ida, we have brokered a deal, but in good faith of partnership, I would allow you to view the footage based on the recommendation from my good friend Lilit here.
Lilit rolls her eyes at hearing my good friend.
She goes, It is not I that wants to view it, though. It is my superiors. It's like,
Well, I guarantee you it's real. It's genuine footage. Real vampires.
incredible.
Lilit just says, no one's talking to you, Sparky.
Well, hey, this is my footage here, and I'm the one that's going to be sharing it with Mr. Castle here. So,
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can I ask you, as a filmmaker, how did it look? Did it look real? Was it distinguishable from CGI, in my personal opinion?
It looked very real. There's people who could be fooled if they're just told, wow, look at this great CGI. But there's other people who could try to prove that it's real and could do it.
Sure. Okay. So to my eyes, I can differentiate that it's real.
Yes.
Like I know that it's real. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ida, it is a pleasure meeting you. And like I said, you a recommendation from Lilit is highly regarded, and I will certainly entertain this, but we should schedule this after my current business is concluded.
I think that this is business that should be concluded before we leave.
Well, I disagree.
She looks directly at Mark. Mark, are you the only one that has seen this footage? And Mark goes,
Well, me and my source.
Which you were just pulling up, right?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
no one else? Not any of your co-workers? Nobody like that?
Well, I don't make a note to do that.
And to both of you being kindred, you can tell that suddenly this kindred's presence has changed. They are terrifying all of a sudden. And she just goes, who else? Mark?
Well, Ida, there happens to be a couple of other people that I believe who have seen this footage, besides the source and others who may have had possession of the contents prior to Mark. So, I believe that through our negotiations, we will come to a equitably beneficial resolution.
She seems to be ignoring you as she asks one more time. But this time, words it this way.
And as she's doing this, right after Cass says, like, we can come to an equitable, she just, like, she has not moved from being, like, right next to Mandy, but she just, like, reaches out very slowly and puts her finger, like, on Cass's lips to be like, shh.
Yeah, Cass glares at just every fiber of his being.
The, Mark, horrified, just goes,
Oh, my girlfriend watched it too.
to which this kindred goes, is that right? They very beastly growl. She just stands from the chair now. Her horrifying demeanor is gone. And she turns to look at Cass and just goes, I don't care if a copy is made, but I want what's on that drive. And when you find out who that source is, and this she turns to Lilit, you will tell me who that is. I'll see you before I leave. Meet you in the parking garage. And she walks out.
Lilit, as she's walking by, kind of does an air kiss towards her and goes, I can't wait, babe.
Castle just nods.
Once she's gone, Mark's demeanor goes back to being in awe of James.
Just like, whoa, That was crazy, but don't worry, James. I'm sorry, Mr. Castle. I'm sorry. That happened. I've got the information pulled up. Just a couple more seconds.
Absolutely. And my assistant Ashley has sent over the documents for exclusivity, non-disclosure agreement, et cetera, et cetera. If I could get you to sign those while I'm here, and if you could send over the information for your contact, I think we should be good to go.
Oh, well, let me just I'll send this to the printer downstairs, and they just don't like things going like that through the email and stuff like that. So I'll just print it out for you.
Well,
Lilit
who is
also leans forward and goes. She leans forward and she takes her finger and just kind of like lightly runs it down his cheek and down his throat.
To Mark?
And Mark, yeah. And whispers into his ear, be a darling and just go ahead and make another copy of that. And do that for us, please.
Molly's on fire with
Oh my god.
I knew Molly was going to do it too.
Just let us get out of here, okay?
No, Molly, you keep bringing them. You keep hitting us with it.
All right. The beast whispers to you, Lilit. You're already here. You might as well. Just cut that throat open. Drink all that delicious blood. That terrified blood. Be more scared of you than it will be in awe of that Toreador.
Hearing the beast, Lilit makes a very bestial growl. Kind of reverberates deep in her throat. Her eyes develop a bit of the animalistic shine to them. And her nails get just a little bit sharper. And as she's running her finger down his throat, she just adds a little bit of pressure that if she were to push just a little bit harder, she would definitely draw blood. And she leans back and looks Mark in the eyes and then just licks the finger that she had just ran down his throat.
Mark is scared. But he does what you say. He goes,
Yeah, of course.
and clicks a few keys, and
Yeah, it's it's printing now. There you go. Mr. Castle, I'm so excited to be working with you. It's incredible experience.
Honestly, Mark, it's something I never would have dreamed of, but it's defies expectations, I should say. This is wonderful. I'm looking forward to what we can do in the future.
Lilit leans over onto the desk, not in front of Mark, but is like still standing sort of like next to him, and she leans on the desk and she just holds her hand out, very obviously waiting for him to make a copy and give it to her.
hold on.
And takes out a flash drive and puts it in another one of the USB ports, copies the information, and then gives you the USB of the video. And then takes the other USB out and gives it directly to Cass.
Thank you, Mark.
That's a very good boy. Now, since this is exclusive and Mr. Cass will have propriety of that little flash drive he is holding.
And the contents therein.
And the contents therein. She gets a little bit snippy. That means that what you have on your hard drive no longer belongs to you. She leans her finger out and just kind of like starts running her nail down his throat again. And she is very fixated on his throat. She just kind of licks her lips and leans in, kind of does like a little sniff of his neck. She can obviously smell the blood just under the skin. I think you should erase what's on your hard drive because you wouldn't want to get into any kind of trouble now, would you? Mr. Cass has some pretty powerful lawyers. And at the end of lawyers, she just turns her hand palm up and takes her pointer finger and just kind of like lightly digs into his throat, just enough that he knows that her finger is there, just over the aorta, the carotid artery. And she then leans back, looks at him. She just bites her lip and then just kind of sucks on her finger.
Mr. Castle, are you sure? I wanted to do the podcast tomorrow.
He says to you in this, like, trembling way, but he is also fixated on your presence in the room.
Well, Mark, I hate to be so blunt as to say that, but what my associate says is correct, since we do own the rights to the footage, and we've discussed that you would come up with something else for your conversations tomorrow. I would agree it's probably the best course of actions. I would hate to have you in any kind of sticky situation where you may lose everything. I think it's just the safe bet.
I guess so.
And you can hear him do a few clicky clacks on the keyboard. And on one hand, he's really happy to have made you happy, James Castle. On the other hand, there's a part of him that was really fighting against doing that. And it lost.
Good.
Lilit just gently after he's put the contents into the recycle bin of the computer, she just gently, as she's looking him in the eye, just gently moves the cursor over to the recycle bin and hits right click, empty contents.
Boop.
Yep. This whole time, even though very nervous around Lilit's touch, is still focused on James Castle and all the awe that he is giving off.
I did it, and I did it for you, Mr. Castle. I did it all for you.
Mark, you did it for yourself. This is the start of a wonderful thing. So, congratulate yourself. Feel good. This is the start of something wonderful. So, I know it's hard, but believe me, it will be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to working together, Mr. Castle.
He says as he starts smiling again.
Lilit just kind of like stands there and is doing kind of she's twirling her finger like, wrap it up.
Right, Mark, so go ahead, sign those papers, send me over the details.
He just frantically starts typing to quickly do the DocuSign completion and everything. He could not be typing faster.
And then send me over the details for your contact. I'd love to speak with them.
Yeah, it's all in the printer down there.
Perfect. Could you also email me a copy of that? Just to have for my records.
Well, my guy doesn't really like to do the email thing.
Yeah, but I do like to do the email thing, Mark. I do. I'm sorry. It helps between myself and my assistant. It just... You understand how it is, a big production, lots to work with. So I would love to have your stuff accessible when we're working on things.
Do manipulation persuasion.
Trying to find manipulation. Okay.
Manipulation and attributes.
Got it. Okay. Again, no ones or zeros on the blood. So that's I love that.
Always a plus.
Yep. It's like where my eyes go to now,
Yeah.
like, immediately. 3 successes. Three
All right.
successes.
Yeah, okay. I'll email that right on over. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. You're in the big time now. This is how it works. I know it's different, but
Yeah, I guess I'm just not used to the way that you guys over there do things in the city and whatnot.
you'll get used to it. Thank you again, Mark. This has been a pleasure.
He's just once again is smiling after a bit of hesitation, but he looks at you, and every time he sees you, he just cannot help but smile. Just cannot stop doing that.
Very curious. How alone are we? Like, what's going on in this situation?
It's just you two in that office. The office door is open, but that's about it.
Okay. I just want to know how, like... Because I don't know the rules of vampire. Like, if I were to, like, be like, you know what? Bring it in for a hug. Like...
Yeah.
Would it be of, like a memorable hug? Like, oh my god, I just...
The moment
Can't
he is no
believe.
longer in range of your awe, it would drop, and he would no longer be affected by the glory of your presence.
But, like, how would he remember an encounter that, say...
Oh, if you're asking if you were to...
if I bit his neck,
Yeah.
like...
he would not remember if you did not want him to.
At this point, Lilith she has other business to attend to, obviously. So she sees the huggies and the kissies about to happen. So she just kind of makes a sound. And because she's just like, this is just really bad, and I don't want to see this. So she's going to start making her way to the parking garage, and as she starts to walk out the door, she just looks back at Mark and just goes, "Later, loser." And then she goes to the parking garage to meet Mandy.
Mm-hmm. Mark he is too in the embrace of James Castle to notice the world around him. Is just absolutely in that place.
What is the resonance of Mark's blood? Because I do have a feature that allows me to smell the resonance of blood. And I'm just I just want to know, because as a new player, I'm like, oh, well, what is?
Oh, there's you'll get a good feed from him. Good potential. The question is, how much do you want to drink?
I just want a little bit. I'm hungry. I've been feeling a little hungry, and
it's just a meta question. Do you want to how many dots do you want to lose on your hunger?
I don't know how much is a person.
So basically, if you're at 3 hunger right now.
Yeah.
You could remove 1 to get down to 2. That's no problem. If you want to take 2 away, you will leave him a bit lightheaded, but you will have to fight against the beast to maintain control.
Okay. Just 1. I just want, like, this is probably like one of the best days of his life, and I just want to enjoy that.
Yeah, of course.
And so I want just one
Okay.
dot's worth.
So as you hug, sink your fangs onto his neck, you can feel his blood, and you can feel how he feels. This is the day that he's been waiting for. This is incredible. He just made a deal with James Castle. He's looking to the future, but you can taste his ambition. This isn't about show business for him, not entirely. He believes, or rather wants to believe, in vampires, werewolves, ghosts, El Chupacabra, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster. And he wants to prove that it's real. And part of that was because of the inspiration from movies that people like you have made. And he is very happy.
When I pull away.
Yeah, when you're done, the wounds cease to be, and he didn't even notice.
I've got a little tear in my eye. just a little happy tear. So
Yeah, well, wipe that little bit of blood out of your eye.
oh yeah. Mark, I will speak to you soon, all right?
Yeah, you got it, Mr. Castle. I'm right here. I've sent my phone number in the email, too, so you can contact me whenever you want.
Perfect. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, goodbye, Mr. Castle.
Bye, Mark. And, yep. Cass will head out
All right.
after the Lilit.
For you, well, Lilit, you're going straight to the parking garage?
Straight to meet Mandy.
All right. So you're probably going to stop by that printer, right? Castle?
And snatch the paper.
Oh, okay. grabbing it on the way out. So yeah, you can see just leaning against the prince's car, and you can see that Mandy has just finished putting a little insignia of anarchy on the side of it with some spray paint.
Nice.
I thought
Very,
so.
very chef's kiss.
Yeah, I thought I recognized this vehicle. The prince's, right?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be pissed. He'll get over it.
Please,
And Lilit,
let me know if he does a great reaction.
absolutely. And she tosses Mandy a hard drive.
She catches it.
So there's your copy of the videos. Mark was just so happy to part with it. Also, it's been deleted off of the original files on his computer have been deleted off. So he no longer has copies of the file. Cass has one flash drive that he will be presenting to the prince, and you have the other flash drive to present to the Baron.
Everyone's happy.
Except Mark. I have a feeling he's going to be regretting this in the morning.
If we all lost sleep over what the kind think, we'd never get anywhere.
And who really cares what the kind think? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't view them as nothing more than meat bags like the Sabbat do, but it's not worth trying to pretend you're one of them like the Camarilla does either.
Yeah. Or the Ventru.
Oh, don't get me started on the Ventru. It's
I heard
bad
about
enough.
that. I heard about that whole thing.
It's bad enough that I'm babysitting a baby Toreador all night, but
Yeah.
to Ventru,
do you know how old he is?
I don't even think he's got his full-grown vampire fangs in yet. I think he's still got his baby fangs.
Oh. And it looks like he's here right now. And you can see James Castle. And James Castle, you can see that they have been being catty with each other next to the car. And as you get closer, you can see that someone has taken the liberty to make a little symbol on the side of the prince's vehicle.
Baby Fangs, is that my new nickname for you?
Lilith looks over and goes, I don't think you would have liked the other nickname that I would have had for you. And she just like reaches out and just kind of like lightly just strokes him under the chin and winks at him.
What I don't like is surprise visitors that interrupt my business.
She reaches out a hand to shake yours and goes, Mandy is my name. And I gotta tell you, you're a real hoot.
I appreciate your humor.
When you grab her hand, you can feel a difference of power. She looks at you and just says, there was a time that I watched a lot of people come over to this place, San Francisco, looking for something. Gold. They said there was gold in these hills, in this land. They were entirely wrong, of course. It was much further north than that. Nevertheless, turned out to be a good place for a port anyways. I wonder, while you're over there in San Francisco, if you're going to find the gold that you're looking for, or perhaps you'll find that it was the Anarchs that had it the whole time. And she lets go.
Well, I guess only time will tell.
She walks away and she says, I hope that your prince likes my art. And she can't help but laugh to herself as she continues walking just toward a wall. Just toward, like, basically where the balcony of the parking garage would be. Till she gets to the end and transforms into an owl and flies away.
How is the art, by the way?
It's a little drippy, but you know that it's supposed to mean anarchy, basically.
Yeah.
The first reaction was not that, she spray painted the prince's car, but it was, how is the art, by the way?
Yeah, exactly.
Spoken
I've got my
like
priorities.
Spoken like an absolute true toreador.
Yeah. All right. Y'all, that is going to bring a wrap to episode 2 of Vampire the Masquerade, Kindred of the Bay.